especially we experience the time constraints of the Salah between Zohar, Asr and Maghrib.
Yes.
Now, what is your opinion?
Yes.
Can we amalgamate it as Zohar and Asr, or Asr with Zohar, because of the time constraint and the work situations? Sometimes you don't even get enough time for a break or anything like that.
No.
I mean, in the past I've experienced, but alhamdulillah, nowadays it's okay. But in generalized conditions,
yes,
especially winter periods.
Okay. There's a hadith in the Sunan of Imam 𝗕𝗲𝗰 rahimahullah azza wa jal, where the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam joined between two prayers. And then he was asked, Ya Rasulullah, did you join between two prayers without there being any obvious reason of rain or snow or cold? And then he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I did this so that there wouldn't be a burden on my ummah. But Imam 𝗕𝗲𝗰 rahimahullah azza wa jal, who adhered to the Shafi'i madhab, he was also a faqih, and this is very obvious from his sunan. He said that of my sunan I have gathered all the ahadith that the scholars of fiqh have worked with. He said apart from 3 hadith that the ulama didn't work with. And one of these 3 hadith is the hadith I just mentioned. Do you hear me? So he narrates the hadith that the Prophet ﷺ said that so that there wouldn't be a burden on my ummah, but then we see in his muqaddimah, in his ilal, that he says 3 hadith the scholars of fiqh didn't work with, and this is one, which doesn't mean that the scholars don't say that we can join between prayers, of course, in certain situations, and there should be certain criteria before we can do this. For the Hanafis, apart from in Hajj, there is no jama'. There is no jama' at all. The jama' that the Hanaf talk about is jama' suri. And the jama' suri means outwardly it looks like a jama', but in reality it isn't. Meaning, I will delay my salat al-dhuhr just right before Asr. I do my prayer, give my salam, and now the time of Asr has entered, and now I will pray Asr. The same with Maghrib and Isha. So this is the only jama' that the Ahnaf have. Yani, the jama' suri. Other madhahib, they have the jama'. They have the jama' between Dhuhr and Asr, Maghrib and Isha. And then they differ. Can I bring Salat al-Asr to the beginning of Salat al-Dhuhr? Or can I just bring Salat al-Dhuhr to the beginning of Salat al-Asr? And the same with Maghrib and Isha. A lot of them differ about this. Now what we have to know is that they gave exceptions, like we are not allowed to join between prayers without a valid reason, meaning like safar, or a certain illness, for example, somebody losing consciousness very often, or someone having a disease not being able to pray at all times, so when he wakes up he or she can join the prayers. So these are also exceptions. Or a surgeon, for example, who knows that he's going to be there for 8 hours, he can't leave the room. We're not going to tell him, I'm sorry, just leave the man on the table, get out of the room, and Allah will take care of him. This is not how we will talk to him. We will tell him that he can join the prayers. And even in like in the Maliki madhab, we can see that waqt al-darura might of the Dhuhr or the Asr can go right up to Isha and so forth. So we have exceptions, but not for a job. Not for a job. Unless you are, for example, a pilot. You are flying your plane. There is turbulence. All of a sudden, one engine doesn't work. And let us say that it's a national flight and it is not a journey even for the pilot. So he's not on a journey. He's not musafir. Are we going to tell him, sorry brother, time of the prayer is almost gone. Now you're not allowed to do jama'. No, we are going to look at the maslahah al-kubra. We even know that our scholars say, if I were to be praying and someone next to me, faints, I have to help him, even if the time of prayer would end without me having prayed the prayer. Because we have tartibul masalih, meaning we have this, we structure and we organize the priorities in life. So now, like this pilot would also have an exception. But people in their jobs, they should either talk to the leader, talk to the director, and I believe that you can always find a way to pray. You can always find a way to pray. I believe this. And this is why, with the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the fatwa that goes around now that people can just go ahead and join all the prayers, this is wrong. And every case, this is the last thing I want to say, a fatwa, it is very dangerous to give a fatwa like this. Why? Because maybe someone can come to me, an individual, explains his or her situation, I look with him and her for all these solutions, and I say, yes, you can. But the general fatwa will never be you can. Because people will pick it. Like, okay, this for me, that's for me, this is for me. And this is why a fatwa, like, for example, students during the summer, where the days are very long, and they aren't concentrated, they are about to faint, to give a general fatwa like they did in Belgium, they can all break their fast, this is haram. You see? So there is a general way of giving fatwa. This would be the general way, which doesn't mean that people with an individual situation could come to me and we would look and there might be an exception. So, but in general, this is what I would answer. Wallahu subhanahu wa ta'ala.